How do you view Egypt's evolving role in Africa, particularly through the participation in the summit in China and the D8 summit in December?
Certainly, in the past years, the Egyptian state has succeeded to write a history with respect to the region strongly through and conveying and political messages by presiding the the African Union, and the participation of extensive conferences and to be present in the United Nations, the Security Council, and participated strongly in the D8 summit with respect to the situation in Sudan, in the African continent, and played in bolstering the African stances strongly and during the past years with respect to the summits that convened in Cairo, and to have an agreed presence internationally, and the support entitlement with respect to starvation and desertation.
Mr. Ashry, now Egypt's role as a mediator in Gaza impacted regional stability. How did it do so, and how was it viewed by the rest of the international community?
Certainly, the Egyptian role played a great role during the past years as the main partner and the pivotal state in the region that has a great presence with respect to the disengagement of the factions between the Palestinian and Israel, and was very keen to play the pivotal role, and the most heaviest was the empowerment in the region, and by convened several negotiations, and to find a solution to the crisis, and by organizing and coordinating the internal stances, by the request of delivering the humanitarian aids. At Cairo was very keen to be the first country to play a great role to make the Palestinian causes vital, and there is no solution but the two-state solutions. And with respect to the last thrones, and there is a great proposal of the Egypt of three phases, and the Egyptian role is that has a great international support in this time, in light of the Israeli aggressions that taking place in Gaza.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you've mentioned, sir, Egypt has been there from day one in October 2023 when the conflict in Gaza has erupted. Now, in what ways and how much was Egypt's humanitarian assistance to Gaza really help alleviate the crisis?
Since the 7th of October, Egypt was very strongly present by convening the peace summit that held in Cairo, and was the agent of the international stances, particularly in the European meetings and the UN meetings. And following that, that established a determined Egyptian force to hold the several principles of Egypt in supporting the Palestinian people, and to have a great consensus of the Aqaba meetings, along with the main partners in of the American side. And I think that Cairo is to continue up till this moment in delivering the aids as the biggest state of the world that helped in delivering more than 80% of the aids into Palestine. That made the UN Secretary General had several visits in Rafah by affirming and supporting the Egyptian role in the assistance of the Palestinian people, and as well as used the airplanes in delivering the assistance and practiced a great pressure upon Israel in delivering the aids. So I consider that the Egyptian role is still strong up till now concerning delivering the humanitarian aids.
Another regional conflict is the conflict taking place in Lebanon. Can you elaborate on Egypt's diplomatic efforts in Lebanon during its political crisis?
I think that internationally and in the Arab world is following what happened in September by the entering and the Israeli operations within the southern Lebanese, and by the messages sent to the Lebanese partners by the Foreign Minister Badr al-Ati, and Egypt made a great assistance of delivering the humanitarian and the food aids in Lebanon, as well as the help in the provision of the treatment of the injured. And Cairo that had made several phone calls with the United Nations partners and the international partners, and the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had called upon the very necessity of the achieving and executing the resolution 1701, and made a great assistance in the past months. And I think with the cooperation with Egypt and the European community that played a very strong and dominant role in reaching the trust that succeeded. And this effort continued by delivering the humanitarian aid and played a great role of the provision of the international guarantee in executing the 1701 resolution as the main pillar in pursuing the ceasefire. And I think in the past years that the D8 summit, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have made with Miqati in pursuit to the maintain the stability in the southern in Lebanon, and Egypt is present strongly and being in the heart of that scene up till now.
Mm-hmm. Well, other than the humanitarian support that Egypt has sent to Lebanon, what other steps has Egypt taken to support Lebanon's recovery amid its economic collapse?
All effort was centered to stop the Israeli aggression. Also, there are the great steps of Egypt by assigning the diplomatic mission to have a set of main principles to force Israel of the ceasefire and to commit of the principles of 1701 resolution and the guarantee of cooperation with the main partners in supervising this ceasefire within 60 days, and to have a consensus by the dissemination of the Lebanese army in the Mekhit. And among of these areas to be evacuated from Hezbollah, and I think that Egypt supported the Egyptian state and to block the way before Israel, and to have the sponsored international partner responsibility by executing the resolution of the UN Security Council 1701 and entering to be effective and to guarantee the Israeli commitment by the Egyptian role with the meetings of the League of Arab States to practice pressure upon Israel and economic commitment with the Israeli practices, and to have an accurate execution by entering the Lebanese army, and that represent an international group of pressure that succeeded by the ceasefire, and it was very present in the dossier of the humanitarian aid and supporting the Lebanese army to have full control of the southern Lebanese in light of the American guarantees along with the Arab partners in the past weeks.
Mr. Ashraf El-Ashry, the Al-Ahram newspaper managing editor, thank you very much for joining us here on Q News.